Hello everybody, my name is Andy and welcome to another video. Today is going to be all about LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1 Part 2 Episode 18 Absolute Power. Now, I'm very much excited to see where we're going to go from there. Last episode, of course, we explored the administration. We learned a little bit more about how stuff works. We got into a little character dive with Kai, and a lot of other things happened that I cannot remember. But it will come to me, as most things does. Ow. Yeah, pretty much it. Lloyd was there. We had a Death Note reference. We got the mechs. We got Zane's car, and we discovered that Imperium has at least two, by this point, Dragon Cores. Not the third one, not yet. That one's at the monastery, and a few ninja, which is Zane, Kai, Aaron, Lloyd, and Wildfire are there to confront Imperium with their ship on the bounty. So I'm very, very much excited to see where we're going to go from there. Anyways, if you want more, I guess, well, I'm going to give more anyways, but if you want to be here to see it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, please. It helps me a lot. And, stick around, watch it on Netflix first, support them, then support me by watching me support them by doing all this on Netflix. And so yeah, now let's get right into it. Ninjago is Rising Episode 18 Season 1 Part 2 Absolute Power. Let's get in. Boom boom boom. Bow. Let's go. I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen. For sure. Okay. So first of all, we learned the important thing. Roz is from the wildness. Do we know the wildness to be completely out of the realm of Chima? Is that like for sure? 100% for me to say he is not from there? Because for the record, animal people from the wildness is a new thing. Like, for one, we only saw at least a dragon there, and then the lava tides. So, would that be from where he's from? Or is that just a story Roz made up about being from the wildness in order to gain trust in the Emperor of Imperium? So, like, maybe they have beef with Chima, and that's why he's there, and that's why he wants to use that. But in a sense that, what does that mean? Like, does that? But also, like, in the flashback itself, since we saw Sora, at least at the time of her escaping, we saw that Beatrix was in power at the time. So that means that Roz went out of his way to go into another realm. Although we don't know which one specifically. He went out of his way to go to another realm, which either is Chima or Wildness, into Imperium's realm. Which, again, we don't know if that's separate from the Wildness. At least not until, the Imperium captured... Okay, the Imperium captured Heatwave, but was that because of the merge, or because of the change in rulings of the Empress, as ergo the Emperor? Because it was said before that the Emperor, they have an agreement with dragons. And then, once they have the, Source Dragon, however that was accomplished, it would appear that only then afterwards they moved on to taking power from dragons. So, like, it is very interesting how so much can change from, at least from there. And so we learn about, what's her name, Zetrix, her sister, older sister by a few minutes. She has an elemental power, which is interesting. We've never seen, at least in elements like that, outside of Ninjago. Nor do we know what the element is of. So Like they never allow. It's purplish, and we don't know what that means. Could it be? Is it probably perhaps the only time we've seen purple, which is in Oni purple, though it's changed from Oni purple to black in some cases or just pink. Whatever the case, it's very interesting. We don't know what happened to her, but we definitely know what happened to Dad. He appeared to have crashed and died. Which is a little dark, but feel like the other king that was overthrown, and the way he was overthrown is a little bit more dark. But who's keeping score? So yeah, that was interesting. That was we finally get a little bit of backstory about Beatrix and her wants to do, but we also see her trying patience growing thinner and thinner with how much, how many things she's been pushing through, how many limits she wants to go through. So this does explain the Dragon Core, the last one at least, is still in the monastery, which they don't know. Or at least they might know. But yeah, that's very cool. And what else happened? He goes back. Beatrix goes back to Lord Roz to convince him to say this is how he could redeem himself. But then he was like, nah, or she was nah, and then they attacked. And then we finally had a one-shot. That was the one thing I'm sure everybody wanted to see from Ninjago for like a long time, is a one-shot fight again, which we've never had since like Seabound, which is what? Already 2 years ago, maybe? I believe it has been 2 to 3 around that time. And it's just been so great whenever they do it. And they did it here, and it was awesome. For sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We saw the explosion, and it turns out, like, we even see, what's her name? Freaking Jordana rising up in the ranks, at least in the Empress eyes, to help her doom the city, possibly, in front of Dr. Leroux. She really is the spot of freaking Ninjago. If you know, you know. She's gonna appear in a minifigure set like next year, which I'm probably gonna definitely buy it. Weird. She gets a minifigure before Dr. Leroux. It's a little odd. Anyways, yeah, like, we got so much information about what's going on here. So we don't know for sure. Maybe it could end, right? Where Beatrix is overthrown, and then, if the sister is not died, she goes into, right? She's like in prison somewhere, maybe, in one of those cells. Because I feel like maybe they would confirm that or not. But if they don't, maybe she's there, and as soon as Beatrix is overthrown, they have Z-Trix, take her place. Which, that would make sense. As a way to, kind of finish, like, not loophole, but like at least make the consequences less severe than they should be. Because, if there was a king and he's overthrown, what's gonna happen to the people? Who's gonna lead them from there? My original assumption would have been, I don't know, Roz, Dorama, Rapton. I don't know, either one of those people. Definitely not Leroux. But they also probably would have wanted to go after the Ninja too. Which Roz, we still don't know what his deal is. Even if he says he's from the wildness, even if he says he is, if he can know how to bring down a source dragon, we still don't know how he knows that. We don't know what he's seen. We don't know where he comes from. All we know is he showed up. Apparently, is in Lord. He was rocking that like half clothing torn clothes that fit. I still think he was maybe just hyping himself up. I think, or like, what's the word? Something. Buttering himself up. That's probably not the right word, but hey, what can you say? I think that's what he was doing to get the Emperor to trust him. Because I don't know, maybe Chima isn't looked upon nicely by the other realms. Maybe, if it even is still alive after the Oni attack. Anyways, so yeah, like, a lot happened, And a lot more is going to happen in these next episodes. I'm very, very excited. But yeah, only 2 left. Wow, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's so crazy to hear that there's 2 left, and they're both like 20 minutes long. Like, because I know people didn't like the original 11-minute counter episode, but I don't mind it because that meant we get 30 episodes. At least for a few seasons, we've gotten 30 episodes with 11 minutes. But now that we have 20 episodes for 20 minutes, that's huge improvement for me because I never really liked the 20-minute episode for 20-minute episode for 10 episodes, to be honest. Like, it just always felt too short for me. You know? Here, they can finally tell much larger stories, much more, give it more time to breathe and more time to flesh out whatever they show. And I feel like they're gonna show us a lot in this next 3 episodes. I just cannot wait. Anyways, guess that's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching. My name is ANDAY. This has been LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 1, Part 2, Episode 18, Absolute Power, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.